Now student, today we are going to start over here the next part, and that is nothing but basic proportionality theorem. This theorem is important not for numerical point of view, but entire, you can say, chapter is based on this content. It is helpful for your first chapter as well as it is also helpful for your second chapter, fifth chapter, sixth chapter. So please try to understand this concept, because this concept we are using in maximum chapters, not only for this but also for other chapters. Now, what is the statement of basic proportionality theorem? Here the statement is that theorem, if a line is parallel to a side of a triangle, if a side is parallel to a side of a triangle, intersect the remaining sides in two distinct points, then the line divide the sides in the same proportion. Now this is the statement which is given in the book. Definitely you can refer a book when lecture is going on. In that case, first part, if a line is parallel to a side of a triangle, means there is a triangle, and in triangle we have to introduce one additional side which intersect the remaining two sides in two distinct point, means the side divide the remaining two sides intersect over there, then the line divide the sides in same proportion. What does it mean? Try to understand the part over here. Let us say I am going to draw actual diagram in front of you and the constraint of that, so that everyone can understand. Let us say first of all I am going to draw a triangle. So here I have drawn one triangle in front of you. Now name or nomenclature of this triangle is triangle ABC. So I am going to indicate this triangle as triangle ABC. Now once again we are trying to understand the verbal meaning of this statement, and the part is, so here part is theorem, if a line parallel to a side of a triangle, means we are going to draw one line which is parallel to one side of a triangle, intersect the remaining sides, means it is going to intersect the remaining side in two distinct point, means two different point, then the line divide the sides in same proportion. Means here we have taken a triangle ABC over here. Now we have to draw one line parallel to any one side of a triangle. Means if I am going to say AB, then I have to draw a line parallel like this. For BC, then I have to draw a line like this, and for AC, then I have to draw a line like this. Considering one part, base as a BC, I am going to draw one line parallel to base BC. Means this is a base BC, and now I have drawn one line parallel to base BC. So I have drawn one line which divides the two sides in two distinct point and parallel to base BC. Now this intersection point I am going to call it as a P and Q. Now what this statement indicate? If a line is parallel to one side of a triangle and divide other two sides in two distinct point, means P and Q, then it divides in same proportion. Means you have to prove that AP upon PB is equal to AQ upon QC. That part you have to prove in terms of a theorem. Whatever may be part, I am going to write in two structure. One is nothing but given and second is nothing but to prove. So please pay attention over here. So your solution, or you can say answer, here first of all given. So we have converted the theorem into diagrammatical structure and we are going to write given. So first part, in triangle ABC, first line PQ parallel to base BC. Line PQ is parallel to base BC. Now P is on AB and Q is on AC. So point P and Q on AB and AC. Now we have to prove that. So to prove, we have to prove that AP upon PB is equal to AQ upon QC. AP upon PB is equal to AQ upon QC. Now AP upon PB is equal to AQ upon QC. Here after this part we are going to make some modification. What is exactly that part? Please pay attention. As I want to prove that AP upon PB is equal to AQ upon QC. Now here for comparison, APQ, one upper triangle is over there, but for base there is no triangle. So converting that diagram into some construction or modification so that we can have a part. In that case, we are going to draw two segments over here. First, join P with C, join P with C, and second, B with Q. Now why? Let me clear. First of all, I am going to draw B with Q. I have drawn B with Q. Now what happened over here? I can make a comparison of triangle APQ with BPQ, or you can say PQB. Similarly, I have to take a comparison of APQ with second triangle also. So second construction is join P with C. So I have drawn second construction, that is joint PC. So I can have another triangle PQC, which is going to get compared with APQ, and that is a part over here. Means first of all we are going to compare APQ with PQB, and second we are going to compare APQ with PQC. Now here all the diagram is in combined structure, so I am going to make breakup of this diagram and I am going to draw additional two diagram for your understanding. But as we have drawn a construction, first of all we have to explain or give the part as a construction that draw BQ and PC. So I am going to write it over here. Please pay attention. So the next part, construction. Join BQ and PC, join BQ and PC. This is a part as a construction, and after that we are going to start a proof over here. So the part of proof. No doubt, in case of a proof, we are trying to do one part that we are going to write this answer in the form of number, statement and reason. So we are going to create a structure, number, statement and reasons. So please pay attention to the next part. Now for additional part, we have done some modification. We have shifted this data upward and rest of the part so that we can clear entirely proof in one section. Now please pay attention. Our target is that we have to prove that AP upon PB is equal to AQ upon QC. Now once again try to understand the main diagram, and with the help of main diagram what I have done as a breakup. We have to prove that AP upon PB is equal to AQ upon QC. But in that case we have to understand some different triangle. One is a triangle APQ, second is PQB and third is PQC. Sometimes students get confused about entire diagram. So I have drawn isolated content so that you can easily understand the part. One is a triangle APQ over here. Triangle APQ, second PQB and third PQC. Once again APQ, second PQB and PQC. This triangle get developed because of we have drawn two construction. One is joint BQ and PC. That's why these triangles get formed. In the first case, we are going to make a comparison of first triangle with second. Now, let us observe this diagram very carefully. We have taken a breakup of this diagram over here. First is a triangle APQ. I'm going to call it as triangle number 1 over here. And second is PQB, which I have taken it from PQB over here. I'm going to call it as a triangle number 2. So that understanding point must be very clear. Now I am going to take the ratio of APQ or area of triangle APQ upon area of triangle PQB. We know that ratio of area of two triangle is equal to base into height of first triangle divided by base into height of second triangle. Here if I am going to consider AP as a base, then PQ is my height. For second triangle PQB, if I am going to consider PB as a base, then PQ is a height. Means in triangle 1 and 2, PQ, height remains same. Naturally, area of first triangle divided by area of second triangle is equal to base of first triangle, that is AP, and base of second triangle is PB. So we can have area of triangle APQ upon PQB is equal to AP upon PB. Now in second part, I am going to write the same part for here triangle number 1 and next triangle. So I am going to give it as a triangle number 3 over here. Now again we are going to take a ratio of area of triangle first with third. So area of triangle APQ upon area of triangle PQC is equal to AQ upon QC. Why? Because in the first triangle, if I am going to consider PQ as a height, in second triangle also PQ as a height, then area of first triangle upon area of second triangle is equal to base of first triangle divided by base of second triangle. Means it become AQ upon QC. Or you can say that area of triangle APQ upon PQC, area of triangle PQC is equal to AQ upon QC. That will be my second part. Now third, here about PQB and PQC. Here as per our main diagram, PQ is parallel to BC, means this height or this height is constant. Naturally, if I am going to compare area of triangle PQB upon area of triangle PQC, then this is the same because both have a base PQ and their height is same, because in case of a main diagram, PQ is parallel to BC. Naturally, we can say that area of triangle PQB is equal to PQC. This part we are going to declare in third, and in this way we are reaching up to the main proof. How? Please pay attention on this part. First, in triangle APQ and PQB, in triangle APQ and in triangle PQB, means area of first triangle upon area of second triangle. Therefore, area of triangle APQ upon area of triangle PQB is equal to AP upon PB. AP upon PB. Now, for this part, I am going to call equation number 1 or indicate it as equation number 1, and reason is ratio of area of two triangles. Now, same way we are going to do area of triangle APQ upon area of triangle PQC, that become AQ upon QC as height PQ considering. So coming to the second part, and the part is second, area of triangle APQ, or you can say in triangle APQ and in triangle PQC. Here area of triangle APQ upon area of triangle PQC, area of triangle APQ upon area of triangle PQC is equal to AQ upon QC. AQ upon QC. I am going to give it as equation number 2, and reason same, ratio of area of two triangles. Now, after giving the explanation of this part, third part is, here we know that third part, area of triangle PQB is equal to area of triangle PQC, because base is PQ and their height is same. Therefore, third part is also area of triangle PQB, area of triangle PQB is equal to area of triangle PQC. Reason, part is third, and reason is nothing but base and height is same. Base and height is equal. Now we have part area of triangle PQB is equal to area of triangle PQC. Now what exactly conclusion we are getting from that part? Here area of PQB, area of triangle PQB, it is over here, and area of triangle PQC, area of triangle PQC, it is over here. Means third equation having a two part, first and second. PQB is over here and PQC is over here. Also their upper part is area of triangle APQ, upper part is area of triangle APQ. Means from 1, 2 and 3 we can say that area of triangle APQ upon area of triangle PQB is equal to area of triangle APQ upon area of triangle PQC. In short, we will get AP upon PB is equal to AQ upon QC. Writing that part over here, and the part is therefore from equation 1, 2 and 3, area of triangle APQ upon area of triangle PQB, area of triangle APQ upon area of triangle PQB is equal to area of triangle APQ, area of triangle APQ upon area of triangle PQC. Naturally, area of triangle APQ upon PQB means AP upon PB. AP upon PB is equal to area of triangle APQ upon area of triangle PQC means AQ upon QC, and in this way we are able to reach our final and expected step over here, and in this way we are able to complete the part. No doubt in case of reasoning you can have also reasoning declaration over here, or if you want to give you can have form here from equation 1, 2 and 3. Means you can give the declaration in answer also, or you can give the part in reasoning also, and in this way you are going to complete entire part, that is called as BPT. Here the short form is used of basic proportionality theorem, so in sometimes it is also called as BPT theorem. Remember student, this is the most important theorem for your syllabus point of view, and the second and the main important part is that how to represent the theorem. This is the way of structure. Here you can have a numbering as a first group, second group and third group, and in this way you can also have a equation 1, equation 2, equation 3, and please adopt this writing type or style. And here the part of reasoning in proper structure, and in this way you can complete the part. No doubt during writing you can refer the book, that will give you a more systematically part, but create your own style of presentation. Here this I have used red mark just for your understanding and clearance. No need to use when you are going to write it on your notebook. Or also you can say simply you are using only blue color pen or black color pen and your writing paper. So use pen and pencil only over there. Do not use any color other pencils over there. Now we are moving to the next part in terms of a theorem, which is nothing but converse of basic proportionality theorem. Here what is exactly meant by converse of basic proportionality theorem? It is exactly a reciprocal condition of basic proportionality theorem. First of all, we are trying to understand its statement, and after statement we are going to draw a diagram. No doubt there is no complete proof which is given in case of your syllabus point of view, or it is not a part, but in case of a numerical we are using the condition, that is converse of basic proportionality theorem. So first try to understand the content available over there. Theorem: if a line divides any two sides of a triangle in the same ratio, if a line divides any two sides of a triangle in a same ratio, then the line is parallel to third side. Now what exactly this statement indicate? First of all, I am going to draw one diagram and going to clear the content of that part. Let us say I have drawn one triangle in front of you. And name of this triangle is triangle ABC. So your name of this triangle is triangle ABC. Now as per their condition, once again try to understand the statement. If a line divides two sides of a triangle in the same ratio, means we have to draw one line, and it divides the two sides in same ratio. Let us say I am going to indicate one part over here. This is a line L. And this line L divide AB and AC in same proportion. Let us say point of contact is P and Q. And they have given that this P and Q, which is a part of a line L, they divide AB and AC in same ratio. Means they have given AP upon PB is equal to AQ upon QC. Then prove that this third line is parallel. This line is parallel to third side. Means I am going to write given and to prove. So the part is given. Here in triangle ABC, line L divide AB and AC at point P and Q respectively. Also they have given AP upon PB is equal to AQ upon QC. Then we have to prove that this line L is parallel to base BC. Means we have to prove line L is parallel to base BC. Or logically you can say line L is parallel to BC. This is nothing but called as converse of basic proportionality theorem. No doubt in case of a syllabus they have not given a proof over here, or it is not a part of your syllabus. Directly you should know that if in any condition they have given any line which divides the remaining two sides in same proportion, means AP upon PB is equal to AQ upon QC, you can directly mention that therefore this line L is parallel to base BC or third side. And this is the reason you are directly giving and moving to the next part. So please observe it. Now student, please pay attention. We have to understand one property in the next part, and that is nothing but property of an angle bisector of a triangle. We have to understand a property of an angle bisector of a triangle. But first of all, simply understand the content. What is exactly mean by angle bisector in a triangle? So I have taken an example over here, angle bisector of a triangle. Let us say this is a given triangle to us, and generally I am going to indicate in terms of a nomenclature A, B, C. Now in triangle we have three vertices A, B, C over here as per the nomenclature available. Now in that case, one by one you can draw angle bisector for A also, you can draw angle bisector for B also, and you can draw angle bisector for C also. Angle bisector is nothing but one kind of a ray which divide the respective angle into equal part. Means if I am going to say angle A is of 70 degree, and if I am going to draw angle bisector, then it becomes 35. Or if I am going to say angle B is of 60 degree, then I am going to draw one angle bisector, then divide it into 30, means two equal part. Now in case of a 9th standard, there is a chapter called as a construction, and in that case you know method or methodology. No doubt our target is to understand the property of an angle bisector of a triangle. But before starting that property, the simple concept of angle bisector. In this case, generally we are using angle bisector, and just for example I am taking angle B over here. First of all, in a rounder you are going to take some particular distance, and from vertices B we are going to make two marks, first arc, second arc. Means there are two marking on the two respective sides of angle B, because we have decided to take angle bisection of angle B. Now keeping the same distance over here, again from your first point and second point, considering it as a reference arc, here the respective point on that line you are going to make two marks, first arc, and from second point, second arc. And in this way you are able to get the respective interaction point. After that you are going to draw one ray passing from B and that will be move over here. And in this way you have drawn one angle bisection, means this angle equal to this. Now why I describe so? I have to give next clarification for the next property. When you go to draw angle bisector for any triangle, if it is for angle, then there is no possibility of this third side. But when you are going to draw for a triangle, this angle bisector is also going to get interact to the next side over here. Let us say I am going to call this point as a point T. Now definitely this angle is divided in two equal part. This angle is divided in two equal part, means our angle B is divided in two equal part. Means if I am going to say angle B is a 60 degree, then it is divided into 30 and 30. Then what is the property in terms of this ratio division that we have to take into consideration? And this AT and TC get break into two part, because originally there is a AC and AT and TC is subdivision. Then what is the relation of this AT with BA and BC? So there is some relation between BA, BC, these are the two sides, and AC which is break into the two part as AT and TC, and that we have to learn in one property that is called as a property of an angle bisector of a triangle. And now we are going to start that theorem over here. So please pay attention. Now student, please pay attention. We are moving over here, and that theorem or property is nothing but property of an angle bisector of a triangle. Already just we understand the concept, what is exactly meant by angle, or you can say in triangle, what is the concept of angle bisector. It is nothing but a ray which divide the respective angle into equal part. Now try to understand property of an angle bisector of a triangle. Now the question is theorem, the bisector of angle, the bisector of an angle of a triangle divide the side opposite to the angle. Once again, the bisector of an angle, the bisector of an angle of a triangle divide the side opposite to the angle in the ratio of remaining sides. Now what does this statement indicate? I am going to explain the meaning of this statement in terms of diagram point of view so that everyone can understand. Now please pay attention over here for the respective diagram that I have drawn over here. Let us say we have to explain this statement in terms of diagrammatical point of view. So the part is, I am going to indicate this diagram or part as triangle ABC over here. Now either angle A or B or C, any one has to be get divided by angle bisector. Now I am not going to complete the process of angle bisector, I am going to directly draw it. Now if I am going to say this is a triangle ABC over here, and here I am going to draw a angle bisector of angle C. Let us say this is a part over here. When I am going to draw angle bisector of angle C, logically you can say that your respective angle C is divided in two equal part. Means angle AC over here and BC over here. This angle become equal. Now I am going to extend this respective ray, and now this ray is going to divide its opposite side, means AB, in some proportionate. I am indicating this point as a E over here. Logically you can say that if C is an angle bisector, then no doubt angle C is divided in two equal part, but at the same time opposite side AB is also divided in some proportionate. Means if I am going to say it is a 10 centimeter, maybe 4, 6, whatever may be distribution of that part. Now we have to understand the part in terms of statement, what they have given for this triangle condition. They have given one condition that here statement says that bisector of an angle of a triangle, bisector of an angle of a triangle divide the side opposite to that angle, means AB is divided in the remaining ratio sides. Means this AB is now divided in two equal part, AE and BE. This is divided in same proportion of remaining side. Now which are remaining side? One is CA and CB. Means we have to prove that AE upon EB इस AE के साइड है CA और AC, और इस EB के साइड है BC. यानी हमें यहाँ प्रूव करना है AE upon BE is equal to AC upon BC, and that is a part over here. Some student may also write AE upon BE or AE upon EB is equal to CA upon CB. In this way, we have to complete the part. Means up to this part, all the part which is nothing but given and to prove. Also, we have to do some construction and then proof. So please pay attention. Now, one by one, here we are going to write given, to prove, construction and all other part. So please pay attention. So here, first part is given. Now, what is exactly a part from diagram point of view in given? First, in triangle ABC. So I'm going to start that part. In triangle ABC, ray CE is an angle bisector. Ray CE is an angle bisector. This is the third part of a given. Now, this ray CE intersect AB at point E. Ray CE intersect ray CE intersects AB at point E. Now, once again, please try to understand what exactly we are supposed to prove. We have to prove that AE upon B, AE upon B, or you can say that AE upon EB, AE upon EB is equal to CA upon CB, remaining sides of that triangle. And the part is to prove AE upon EB is equal to CA upon CB, and this is the part we are supposed to prove. Now here we are going to do a huge modification to prove the respective part, and that is nothing but construction. Now student, here construction is something typical or different, so please try to understand what exactly we are going to do as a part of a construction over here. No doubt for a construction or modification, I am going to use another color part so that you can easily understand what modification is done in a diagram. So the part is now the modification is here we have drawn initially triangle ABC. After that we have drawn angle bisector from C which intersect AB at E. Now here first part is that I am going to draw one line which is parallel to CE, passes from B. Once again, please try to understand. I am going to draw one side or line here parallel to CE. CE is what? That is nothing but angle bisector. यहाँ पे CE क्या है? CE is nothing but angle bisector. इसे parallel and passes from B. That I am going to draw a side over here. Now here part is ये पहले था नहीं, हमने एक्स्ट्रा बनाया है. ये था नहीं पहले, हमने एक्स्ट्रा बनाया. दैट्स व्हाई आई ड्रॉन इट बाय कलर मार्कर. नाउ वी हैव ड्रॉन वन line or side which is passes from B, but what is the speciality that it is parallel to CE. And next part, extend this AC, extend this AC. इस AC को extend करना है such that it intersects somewhere over here to this side. And now I am indicating this point as point D. I am indicating this part as point D over here. And in this way our construction is get completed. So whatever part that I have done over here, what is exactly, once again try to understand. हम लोगों ने CE से पैरेलल एक लाइन बनाई है जो B से जा रही है. Means we have drawn this and then we are extended AC up to point D and we are able to get the point D. So construction will begin. Draw a line passes from B, draw a line passes from B parallel to CE. Next extend AC up to D. And that will be our construction. So I am going to explain the construction part over here. Therefore, construction. Draw a line parallel to ray CE. Draw a line parallel to CE or EC and passes from B Next, extend AC up to D. Now, this is nothing but a part of a construction that we have done, and now we are going to start a proof over here. Now, we are going to start over here proof. Now, student, please pay attention. As we are given a proper explanation of theorem which is in the form of statement given to prove construction and all other part. I have to write a proof and it contains around 8 to 9 steps. Definitely I need a huge space for the writing and the available space is somehow less. I am going to erase all the part, just I am going to keep to prove and rest I am going to start the proof. So please write down it properly, make a pause of video, write it properly up to this part either from observation of a video or from your textbook and try to understand the next concept so that step by step you can easily understand the part. No doubt your main focus is towards diagram and that should be very clear from your point of view. Now student, please pay attention. We have converted the initial part into only one part, that is to prove AE upon EB is equal to CA upon CB, and entire rest of the part I have written as a number, statement and reason. Whenever you are going to write any kind of a proof, please make such a kind of a writing style so that it should be appropriate. And this ratio is probably 2:1. Means this line may be of 1 centimeter, this space is of 10 centimeter and this is of 5 centimeter. So please longer size notebook take when you are going to complete the part. Some students are taking short notebook, you cannot write a properly proof or reasoning over there. Now coming to the part of diagram point. Once again I am going to give slant revision so that everyone can understand. Initially there is a triangle ABC and we have drawn CE as an angle bisector. Means due to CE, this angle ACE and ECB, two equal part or divided into two equal part. After that we have done construction. Now what exactly we have done in construction? In construction we have drawn one segment which is passes through BD, or you can say a line which is parallel to CE that we have drawn from BD. Now when you drawn a BD, after that we have extended AC up to point D, and this new triangle CDB is a part of new modification, logically you can say construction. Now here our proof takes step by step answering, and there are two parts that you have to understand over here. Means the same diagram I have drawn in some incomplete structure over here so that you can easily understand the part. What is exactly the part? Here I am going to make a group 1, group 2, and definitely there is a main diagram over here. Now what exactly this part to be taken into consideration? Sometimes you cannot understand it from diagram, so I am going to explain it from here. Now the part is, as per condition, as CE parallel to BD, as CE parallel to BD by construction, then automatically AD or you can say AC will be act as a transversal. In this case, angle ACE, the angle which is formed over here, angle ACE must be congruent to angle CDB over here. Naturally, the reason is that CE parallel to BD, here AD act as a transversal, and angle ACE is congruent to CDB, because these two are nothing but corresponding angles. That we are going to write in group 1. Means we are able to prove that this angle equal to this angle. Now in the next part, try to understand the same diagram which is taken from here as a reference, and the part is again CE parallel to BD, CE parallel to BD, and here BC act as a transversal, automatically angle ECB, the angle which is formed over here, is equal to angle CBD. Again, these two are nothing but alternate angles. That part we are going to write in number 2. So from 1 and 2 we are able to get one conclusion. Once again try to understand over here. From 1 we are able to get a conclusion that angle ACE is congruent to CDB over here. Next, from 2 we are able to get a conclusion that angle ECB, which is over here, is equal to CBD as an alternate angle. Automatically we can see that here these both angles become congruent and your respective triangle CBD become isosceles triangle. Or you can say that as these two angles are congruent, its opposite sides must be congruent. So opposite to D, this is CB, and opposite to B, this is CD. Means you are able to prove that BC equal to DC or CD equal to CB. And we are going to reflect all this part into answer to reach to final step. Now up to this part, please pay attention over here. I am going to write one by one. So as per condition of number, statement and reason, the part is first, here from the first part, as CE parallel to BD, as CE parallel to BD and AD act as a transversal, AD as transversal. Now why CE parallel to BD? CE parallel to BD by construction. So I am writing by construction. Now we can write angle ACE. Therefore, angle ACE is congruent to angle CDB. I am going to give it as equation 1 and reason is nothing but corresponding angle. Student, please pay attention as I am giving an explanation in front of you. Please first draw the rough diagram on your paper so that you can easily understand these steps that what I am writing. So आप इस वीडियो को कभी भी पॉज प्ले कर सकते हो, दैट इज द फैसिलिटी ऑफ दैट पार्ट. तो स्टेप बाय स्टेप आप मेरे साथ डायग्राम भी ड्रॉ करोगे, राइटअप पार्ट आप एंड में लिखोगे तो भी चल जाएगा. नाउ कमिंग टू द सेकंड पार्ट. हियर इन सेकंड कैटेगरी वी आल्सो नो दैट C पैरेलल टू BD as C parallel to BD, as C parallel to BD and BC act as a transversal and BC as transversal. Therefore, angle ECB is congruent to angle CBD. I am going to give it as equation number 2 and reason become alternate angles. Now we are able to get the first part, angle ACE is congruent to CDB and second ECB is congruent to CBD. But we know very well one part, angle ACE which is over here is exactly equal to angle ECB which is over here. Why? Because our CE is an angle bisector. So I am writing third part. But angle ACE is congruent to angle ECB. Why? The reason CE is an angle bisector, as CE is an angle bisector. Naturally, ACE equal to ECB, ACE equal to ECB, we can say that CDB is equal to CBD. Therefore, angle CBD equal to CDB, or we can say that CDB, angle CDB is congruent to angle CBD. We are able to get that is from 1, 2 and if I am going to give this part as 3. So you are able to get a conclusion from 1, 2 and 3. I'm going to give a reason from 1, 2 and 3, and I'm going to give this equation as equation number 4. Now the part is, as angle CDB is congruent to CBD, automatically pay attention what exactly we are able to get. Here we are able to get that CDB equal to CBD. Naturally our triangle CBD become isosceles triangle, and we can say that CB is congruent to CD or CD is congruent to CB. That part I am going to write it over here. Therefore, triangle CBD is isosceles triangle as two angles are equal, and you can have a part. Therefore, side CB is congruent to side CD, or you can also write CB is congruent to CD. I am going to call it as equation number 5. Now one by one part, as you are able to get this step, we know one part that we have previously completed, that is nothing but BPT, and that we are using in the last step, that is step number 4, and that is nothing but in triangle ABD, in triangle ABD, as C parallel to BD, C parallel to BD by construction, now what exactly we are getting from this part? In triangle ABD, CE parallel to BD. Please pay attention over here. In triangle ABD, in triangle ABD, CE parallel to BD. This CE parallel to BD. Automatically you can use basic proportionality theorem, and that become AE upon EB. AE upon EB is equal to AC upon CD. Once again, AE upon EB, AE upon EB is equal to AC upon CD, AC upon CD by basic proportionality theorem. Next, we write as it is, AE upon EB is equal to AC upon, instead of writing CD, I am writing CB, and then proof will get completed. So, please pay attention over here. Therefore, in triangle ABD as CE parallel to BD, therefore, AE upon EB is equal to AC upon CD. Now we are making modification of this CD over here, and the part become AE upon EB is equal to AC. Instead of writing CD, I am writing CB, and in this way we are able to complete our required part in terms of proof. And as we are replaced CD by CB, in a reason you can say that CD is congruent to CB, or you can say from 5. CD is equal to CB from 5. And in this way you can complete the entire proof. Now student, please pay attention. There are some steps, there are some logics, like I have done group 1, group 2, group 3 and group 4. That practice to be needed from your point of view. आपको ये खुद प्रैक्टिस करना होगा ताकि आपको राइटिंग पार्ट ये सिस्टमेटिकली लिखते आना चाहिए. नंबर 2, when you going to give any kind of a statement, you must able to write or explain a proper reason. And just how to write that step, you must able to make breakup of your respective diagram, so that you can answer that group 1, group 2, then reference of triangle isosceles, that is group 3, and then final conclusion. And this is a part of a practice that you are supposed to make continuously and repeatedly. तो याद रखो, जब भी आप प्रूफ की प्रैक्टिस करो, आपका एक एक पार्ट होगा गिवन टू प्रूव, कंस्ट्रक्शन एंड प्रूफ. Rule number 2, you must able to elaborate the diagram properly. No doubt, it is a main diagram which is given in a book, but this supplementary diagram is not available in your book. ये diagram आपके बुक्स में अवेलेबल नहीं है. ये आपके अंडरस्टैंडिंग या राइटिंग मेथड के टेक्निक याद रखने के लिए इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाते हैं. एंड द लास्ट, हाउ यू गोइंग टू राइट द पार्ट इन नंबर, स्टेटमेंट एंड रीजंस, एंड इन दिस वे यू हैव टू कंप्लीट द एंटायर प्रूफ. अगर आपको चाहिए तो आप एज इट इज बुक का भी कॉपी कर सकते हो. देयर विल बी स्लांट चेंजेस इन सम इक्वेशन नंबर और सम राइटिंग स्टाइल. and in this way you can complete the part.